Okay, so I kind of want to start a conversation. It's about the Ten of Cups, which you will probably see in the title of this video or in the thumbnail. Disclaimer, I'm probably gonna start contradicting myself very soon. It's just some thoughts that I have, a little bit of rambling, probably. I do have some notes, but what I really want to talk about is the Ten of Cups in particular, because I feel that that's a card that's a little bit overlooked in the whole seeing yourself in tarot decks idea, you know, of these times. I do want to start by saying don't expect or demand to see yourself everywhere, to recognize yourself in everything. That's not what I believe life is about. It's about even if you're a misfit or an outcast or whatever is the situation, you find power in either that and or you find yourself, somewhere. Which I think is more a sense of belonging. But what I'm talking about today is seeing yourself and recognizing yourself, and that actually kind of having it's a specific card in a deck struck a chord with me. So I kind of want to talk about that. I mentioned it in my Ritual Tarot deck video, and I feel maybe I have more to say about it. So that's what this video is. So coming back to that, don't expect or demand to see yourself everywhere thing that I said. Diversity, I'm all for it, yes. But like everything, that in its essence has a point, so you could say it's good. The pendulum swings too far, you know. So there's also a destructive and unhelpful and very toxic and overwhelming thing that happens with that. So, if you have questions about that, if I'm being vague in your opinion, feel free to ask me a question right now. Type it right now in the comments, because I might not explain myself all that well. That's not exactly necessarily the point of this video. But if you think, because I don't have all the words, if you think I am saying something offensive, for instance, or maybe I didn't consider a certain point of view, then ask me about it. Okay? All I'm saying, overall, it's strange to expect to be able to find yourself in everything. Just because you like tarot, not every tarot deck is going to be for you. That's the kind of thing that I'm saying. But having said all that, I have found myself in this position of kind of being like on the other side of it, recognizing myself somewhat in a depiction of a card that, in its most raw first impressions type sense, without all the esoteric stuff I'm saying, does not usually align with my life choices. So I'm talking about, of course, this Ten of Cups, which is the Rider-Waite-Smith. We all know it. And I love that deck. I really do. I still work with it. It's a great deck. Actually does have a lot of secrets and occult stuff going on in it. But in its most, not reading the depth and not going deep with these meanings, it does basically depict the end of um, this cycle of the cup suit, which is about emotions, which is about the heart, feelings, intuition, relationships, and it shows the happily ever after card. It shows a happily ever after, very Disney like, uh, version of whatever this is supposed to mean, with a couple and two kids in front of a rainbow, or underneath a rainbow, in front of in front of their home, a house, which the happily ever after card is what we tend to call this one, right? It shows a perfect family, but not everyone has that dream of a perfect family, of a family at all. That's not everyone's dream, and obviously most people have not actually had that experience in life growing up. So what is this supposed to be? This is the high expectations that have a shadow side, is all I have to say, really. It shows a couple, it shows a woman and a man, although it was drawn by Pixie, Pamela Coleman Smith, who we don't know and will never know, but is speculated maybe was gay. So maybe it's her with her partner. And then two kids, which maybe she wanted, I don't know. Now, for me personally, it would have been a perfect picture had it been a couple and some dogs, really. But this got me thinking of all the other types of romantic relationships. If this card is supposed to, in a sense, reflect our happily ever after, it's Malkut of the suit of cups, as I said, then it could obviously look 1,000 trillion even different ways, because we all want different things, right? I mean, I think we all want different things, and we are all different, and we all look different, and we all have different quirks and things we like and things we don't like, and all of those nuances. So I'm not saying please change this card. I'm not saying please show me all the different types of walks of life, although, of course, why not? And so maybe I'm saying that, but what I'm not saying is show only my version of it, or that I will only read with decks that show my version of the Ten of Cups. I'm not saying that I've seen this happen on YouTube, although maybe a little, actually, this mindset at least. Okay, so for me, the family card is the Ten of Coins, Pentacles, discs. It's really the generations, the different generations. And I realized these are two different things, of course, This is basically supposed to be, again, in a sense, there are many layers, what you want for yourself. And this is where you came from and returned to. And it's a different type of family relationship, relatives. It will, in any deck, will, yeah, most of the time show something regarding family, but it's not, it's more like relatives to me. And here, of course, we also see the Tree of Life. It's a nice card. I like it. And you know what? It shows dogs, so plus point there. So you have to understand, I'm very much into traditional decks, the Thoth here, and I realize that I appreciate diversity in decks, um, which can in itself already mean many different things, but I'll show you what I mean regarding the Ten of Cups here. But my point is, if all we ever see in the Ten of Cups is a family, which is the happily ever after, then that can actually be painful for some people, or even simply very far away from one's own reality, past, present, and future. From the Ritual Tarot, Ten of Cups. My first impression of this card was, well, it's a very Rider-Waite-Smith type Ten of Cups, yet it shows two people, no kids around, no kids running around. And I realized that I really appreciate that more than I expected. It's not like I never thought of the Ten of Cups as annoying. It is starting to annoy me more due to all the Rider-Waite-Smith clones that we are bombarded with. I think I might be done with Rider-Waite-Smith, different colorations, different, like that system kind of thing. This deck, the Ritual Tarot, is very strong. It does mix different systems, in my opinion. There are some cards that are absolutely 100% Rider-Waite-Smith, but can't deny how iconic that deck is and how groundbreaking I believe it was in the day, or at least for me, my own journey of the tarot, of learning the tarot and discovering the tarot, that for the longest time were the only cards that I even considered tarot cards, not even knowing about the Thoth. Yeah, so Thoth's card, by the way, is Satiety, which is much more of a Marseille, in my opinion, meaning of that card. Now, this is a untraditional Marseille. It's my favorite deck, the Triomphe de la Luna, and I think actually this is my favorite depiction of the Ten of Cups. It's very abstract, but I like it more than regular Marseille because the 10th cup, the big one, is actually open this time instead of having the cap, which shows a coin, which is the next suit. The cap here isn't there, so we have the cup pouring out that water and filling all of these other cups all the way to the brim, which I like, and it shows a type of a satiety and a happiness, and it definitely stays away from that idea of having a family or having children or creating offspring or all of that stuff, which to many people is just regular daily life, and that's fine, and it's their dream and their wish in life, or their purpose even in life, but it's also not for a lot of people, including myself. So, okay, of course, this Ten of Cups being very far from people's reality, we can, of course, say that about many other cards, right? I mean, we talk about those tarot card pet peeves kind of thing, like the Empress always being pregnant. What else was there? I don't know, the Hierophant being the Hierophant because it's probably the most hated card out there. My mind's going blank right now, but oh yeah, the Baby on the Sun card, still to me not a baby, and very clearly actually symbolism, which of course, yeah, it's all symbolism. A pregnant empress, symbolism. 10 of coins, 10 of cups with the family, yes, symbolism. Except that I realize with the Rider-Waite-Smith, those scenic pips, it really pushes a type of reading style which doesn't In my opinion, it does, but in many people's opinion, apparently doesn't require reading a book about tarot or reading a traditional tarot book, like one of the first ones that's actually about the tarot meanings and not just a guidebook of the deck that you have in your hands, you know? And maybe, yes, I am referring to one of those old school books that starts with the tarot originated in ancient Egypt and all that crap, which probably most definitely isn't true. I mean, I kind of like that idea. As a child, I was obsessed with ancient Egypt. But, if it's not, then it's fine. Anyway, my point was, of course, we can say that of these other cards that people don't like and people don't resonate with, but I never hear people talk about the Ten of Cups, which is kind of funny to me. Yeah, it's kind of funny to me because the thing for me personally that I don't like about this traditional depiction of the Rider-Waite-Smith is this misconception or even expectation, even to this day, for a straight couple to want or have kids at some point. Most of the time, if you're a straight couple, in a not even necessarily long-term relationship, people are going to start asking about when are the kids coming? Not even have you thought about kids or do you want kids? No, it's an assumption and it's when, which can be annoying. Also, not placing blame because, I mean, we all have those societal blind spots, I guess. And yeah, as someone who doesn't, I was gonna say conform, that's not what I meant. As someone who doesn't have a regular job or regular many things, regular ideas, trust me. It's, I guess, my task in that situation to explain myself if I feel like it. Look, obviously, I don't know what the future brings. I have been promised uh, that biological clock that starts ticking at some point. Maybe it will. I don't expect this to happen, but maybe it will. Honestly, maybe it will, just to be honest. I can tell you this much, though. Having children is not my dream. It has never been my dream. And I'm not afraid to say it now, even if maybe at some point in the future I will have a child. The thing is, when I picture my future, up to this point, really, really never included my offspring. Okay, look, so of course in modern tarot decks, which I have not gathered around me, except for maybe the Wild Unknown, could be the most modern one, maybe not. Anyway, that wasn't even my point. I just have some Ten of Cups depictions around me here. But we see a lot of different approaches in modern tarot decks of the Ten of Cups. Also, there is the more, I think, the obvious or straightforward cards, the Two of Cups, or which to me is the twin card of the Lover's card, or the Lover's card. But the Ten of Cups is with just a couple happy together without children, I feel is rather rare. Because otherwise we get the non-scenic ones, like this one, my childhood deck. It's very pippish. We get this, although I do see strands of DNA, but that's just my own association with that card. I also really like, well, it says happiness, but truly it looks like satiety to me. This is nature rainy day deck. Wildwood, yeah. I really don't mind this depiction. And then I got this other one that I love. It's from the Polka, which is a blood sacrifice, bloodletting kind of thing, which is cool and brings me to this whole other place. And then we got the secret Dakini, which is, this is not a 10 of cups, it's the equivalent of a 10 of cups, or kind of. And that brings us to the depths of the ocean with a mermaid showing us the way, and it says deep end. So all very interesting, but the thing we miss in all of these cards is the idea of a happily ever after, a depiction of a happily ever after. Because, I mean, okay, fine. Over here we have a castle in the distance. But I wouldn't mind a castle. I think most people wouldn't mind a castle. Okay, I'm getting silly now. But my point is, 2 people, no kids. And I think that's kind of cool. Now, by the way, if anybody knows, maybe with the lucky few who have the 2nd edition of this deck with that bigger guidebook, where Tara May, the maker of the Ritual Tarot, explains what photos she used, maybe one of you can tell me who these people are. Because I own quite a lot of these older books that you had before we could just Google any documentary at any time. You know, so it's a lot about history and art and all of that, different parts of the world. I believe I saw these. Maybe they're too, I don't know. I believe I saw this statue, but can't for the life of me find it. Anyway, if you know it, I'd love to know more. So the thing is, it's not that I mind the Rider-Waite-Smith's 10 of Cups. It's just that I realize now, as I said, that there are so many Rider-Waite-Smith clones or decks that follow that particular system and come with new drawings of the same concept over and over and over and over. This means we do get stuck a little bit, right? I think so. And I think I've known this not only about the 10 of Cups, but about the tarot in general. I think I've known this for a while. That's why I've been gravitating towards, or one of the reasons why I've been gravitating towards non-scenic decks. Thoth is kind of in the middle, but I mean, my favorite deck is the freest deck, because I can put any esoteric system or whatever on top of what I see here, and it's never wrong. You know, I don't think it's ever wrong, but it's bare bones tarot de Marseille, right? And so therefore it can actually be whatever I want it to be, and I don't have to think around the image that is presented to me, you know? Because all of this other stuff I showed you, it's much more abstract, or much more open to interpretation at least, which I like, is my point. So yeah, with the Rider-Waite-Smith rehashing, we do get stuck a little. And again, not just about 10 of Cups. But what I was trying to explain earlier, I don't think we need a completely modern deck. You know, like showing people with phones and laptops and all of that stuff to have a different view of the 10 of Cups and what a happily ever after means to people nowadays. In its essence, I know it didn't change what people want, I think. But at least we I feel we are more acceptant of different versions. It just reminds me of that. Was it the Two of Cups of the or the Lover's card of the Cosmic Tribe tarot deck, which is a Thoth clone? Not a clone, but it follows the Thoth system. It's the one with all the nudity in its 90s deck, I think. Very interesting, though. I think in there are three versions of, well, let's just call it the Lover's card. One with two men, one with two women, and one with one man and one woman. Which, I mean, I think in a way that is a pretty good use of the two extra cards, because we tend to get two title cards, two cards we either immediately throw away or use as bookmarks, or the smart people out there keep as cards that might replace cards that get severely damaged or lost. You know, as we used to do with playing cards. At least that's what we did with the extra cards. But okay, fine, make it a part of the deck. That's cool. Except that I definitely see the point of not having these options within the one deck. What if you actually commit to just one of these options? Whichever one it is, you'll make those people who actually see themselves in it, you'll probably make them really happy. I think this was probably unintentional, to make someone who doesn't want children at this point happy and, well, I don't want to say seen, but at least, I don't know, understood, maybe. You know, what I'm saying, I'm probably making it much more complicated than it was. You know, I don't know, maybe there weren't any pictures of kids in the collage books that she used. But, you know, I'm saying it's gonna be extra special, is what I'm saying, to people who identify with it. And then also, of course, to people who kind of care about that stuff, or are aware of it and enjoy the diversity in the decks. When it becomes an option, it kind of, maybe it does make it a little less strong, because you didn't commit to just that one thing that you're trying to say. I don't know. This conversation was started by Sylvain, so I'll link it. Sylvain's Daily Sins. Check out his video about the Cosmic Tribe, because he made this point, and I realized, hey, that's cool. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of in the middle. What do you think? That's what I want to know. What do you think? Because I'm just over here thinking it's good to have all these options, but also going back to my very first point, it's okay if whoever you are, you know, let's talk from my point of view, it's okay for me to not see myself in every tarot deck. And with myself, I'm not talking about white woman in her 30s in a heterosexual relationship. That's you're gonna say, well, yeah, that's pretty easy. I'm actually talking, sure, fine, that's a part of it, but also my beliefs, my, you know, to most people that is a contradiction. Heterosexual relationship, woman in her 30s without kids. I know a lot of tarot readers or people who make tarot content have a family and are really happy, and have children and are really happy, and, you know, so this is not obviously, I don't even know why I'm adding this into it, but this is not to say you won't understand what I'm saying here, or you'll be offended by it, or I'm saying that what you're doing isn't right. There are so many truths and right ways for different people. So yeah, that was a point I maybe didn't have to make, but there it is. First of all, I'd like to know if you know of a tarot deck or two, or probably more, because I don't know all the decks and I don't have that many relatively. If you know of a deck or two that change the traditional image of the Thoth, of the Rider-Waite-Smith. I consider this a traditional deck, just like the Marseille and the Thoth, right? Those are my main decks. It's the decks that I like to come back to because I think they are timeless in their symbolism. But again, it's the knowing what you see, knowing what you're looking at. I know I didn't talk about that in this video, but obviously this system has been drawn over and over and over again, and different meanings have, in modern tarot reading, have become attached to it. But I want to hear if you know of decks who change that traditional image, and perhaps without having that deck being super contemporary, just because I am genuinely interested in checking those decks out, maybe. And well, it's just a taste, a personal taste, that I don't like contemporary decks, as I said, with the modern technology and all of that depicted in it. I'm like, no, I don't need to see that. But feel free to add those to the list if they fit the description of my question. And I mean, second of all, I really want to know, what's your favorite depiction of the Ten of Cups? And if that is this one, I also want to hear it, okay? I want to hear what your favorite is, and most of all, why. My favorite, as I said to this point, is this one. And main reason being, it can mean so many things. It can mean much more than any of these other cards that I'm looking at. So yeah, I enjoy the freedom. I enjoy the freedom in interpreting the tarot and interpreting the cards. I do enjoy having different depictions to choose from. Also, I enjoy, apparently, seeing a change, seeing a twist, seeing it differently and thinking, hey, that's much more me than that other card that it looks like. So that's it for now. See you next time.